Hey guys, PIEGUYRULZ here, and trying out another kind of backdrop here. Not liking this one so much. I'd like to get my awesome scenic view of my window in frame, but it's really bright, so maybe if I shot a little bit later in the day. Uh, Today is also the second day in a row that my roommate has woken me up at 9 o'clock, even though I went to bed at 4 because I don't have classes till 1. So that's super. Sorry if I'm a little bit tired. It's one thing for him to set an alarm, it's another thing for him to set an alarm and hit the snooze button 3 times. But anyway, today's topic of discussion is Adventure Time. More specifically, Season 5 of Adventure Time. Because, and there's no easy way for me to say this, it kind of sucks. Yeah, Season 5 is the current season, and as of the time of this recording, Mystery Dungeon is the latest episode. Probably the best. Let me just run through the episodes here really quickly. First you have the Finn the Human, Jake the Dog two-parter, which, spoiler alert, they're the worst episode as voted by you guys. Yeah, you'll have to wait for that rant, which is coming very soon, for my opinion on that episode. But suffice to say, whatever I thought about it, the people didn't respond to it very well. Let's see. You had 5 more short Graybles. I thought it was alright. But there's going to be another Graybles episode this season, which means they're kind of pushing it for ideas, I guess. I mean, 2 Graybles in one season, it's just a little bit too much. It's one of those gimmicky episodes that only really works once a season or once every other season. But it was funny enough, and it was funny that the theme was actually subverted in that I actually guessed that it was the fingers, but if it were that, then we have to acknowledge the fact that there was a middle finger action going on. Also, the Adventure Time characters only have 4, so there was another theme, and that's pretty funny. Let's see, Up a Tree. Man, I did not like this episode. I thought it looked off, I thought there was like no plot to it, and it really bugged me the fact that it all could have been solved by Jake. And I realized that it defeats the purpose, but it just seems like an episode that accomplished absolutely nothing and looked kind of ugly. And the animals in the tree, I don't know, they were a little bit off to me. Maybe that was the point. Maybe there was something there that I wasn't getting, but I really didn't enjoy the episode. Let's see. All the Little People, which is a controversial episode where Finn finds a bunch of Magic Man gives Finn, without Finn knowing, a bunch of little, like, miniature versions of all of them, of all of his friends and him and you know, all the characters on the show. And they can't talk, but they kind of, like, mirror human situations, or they mirror situations that go on in the show, and Finn kind of manipulates them, and they can't see Finn. I will say this, it has probably the most dirtiest jokes of the series. Like, rewatch it and tell me that there isn't, like, 3 jokes that really, really should not have been made. Although I will admit, you know, the innuendo there occasionally does get a laugh out of me. And I do find it to be an interesting episode psychologically. However, you know, I don't necessarily know if I enjoyed it. I felt like there was more they could have done with it. You know, I mean, it explores Finn's psyche a little bit, which is always cool, but I don't know. It just didn't do it for me, to be honest. So let's see. We have Jake the Dad, which I did a review on, which I thought was alright. I thought was one of the better ones of the season. But still, it could have been a little bit better, and I don't know. I think it's a decent episode. But it wouldn't be in my top 5 or anything like that. Then we have Davy, which is, it's just another one of those episodes that just rubs me the wrong way. Finn disguises himself to be this guy named Davy because all these people are bothering him because he's basically an adventuring celebrity in the world. So all these candy people are bothering him, and he disguises himself as Davy, but apparently he thinks he is Davy now, so Davy's like this middle-aged sounding dude. I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way, because Finn knows better than that. And just kind of nothing really much happens in the episode, unfortunately. And then that brings us to our most recent episode, Mystery Dungeon. I like this episode. When I saw on the wiki a while ago that there was going to be a dungeon episode, because they try to do a dungeon crawler every season, that there was going to be a dungeon episode, and it was going to also be an episode about a bunch of side characters. I thought it was a cool idea, because you don't get to see these side characters, like, together, A, and B, just kind of having them, like, have to solve puzzles in this dungeon. I don't know, it just sounds like a cool idea. Like, you wonder how they got there, and their interactions are great. Like, there's Tree Trunks, Shelby, Lemon Grab, the Ice King, I think I'm missing one of them. Oh, and Neptar. And, I mean, there's a lot of funny interplay, like, the Ice King doesn't remember who Neptar is, even though Neptar, like, sees himself as a pseudo-son. Tree Trunks and Shelby kind of stick together, I guess, after their adventure in 5 More Graples. Lemon Grab is really weird, but I guess he's gotten better. He's a little bit cranky because he's apart from other Lemon Grab. But, like, he's still a weirdo. They toned him back a little bit, though. And, I mean, there's some funny jokes, like, Shelby, like, they need some bait to bait a fish, and so Shelby's like, I have an idea. And instead of, Shelby, the worm, being on the hook, he puts Tree Trunks on the hook with a sword, and she gets eaten and slices her way out. Like, just weird stuff like that happens. The episode's designed really well, too. The dungeon looks really cool. And I'm not going to spoil it, but I will say the ending, the reason why they're all in the dungeon, really weird and really funny. And oh my god, it gives you, like, the worst tease of what could happen. And I will also say that the Ice King's relationship with, I'll go ahead and say it, with Fiona, just throwing that out there, is really creepy. He's starting to, it really seems like he has a crush, on this fictional character, which is okay, except for the fact that it's a gender-swapped version of, like, a 14-year-old kid. I thought he didn't do, like, children. But, other than that, I mean, there's a few funny bits in the episode. My only disappointment would be that it wasn't longer. I mean, I guess that's a lot of episodes of Adventure Time. You just kind of want them to be longer. You feel like, they could do a 2-parter well, although apparently not as well as you'd hope for, Finn the human, Jake the dog. I also feel like if Cartoon Network were to make an original movie, like, with, kind of like Big Boogie Adventure for Billy and Mandy, where if they had, like, an hour-and-a-half adventure where they were just sprawling the land of Ooo, with some sort of goal. Maybe it'd be, like, a fetch quest where they had to go to all these different kingdoms to get something. Maybe there'd be some, like, big bad guy, either the Lich or another, like, actually serious villain. But I think they could pull it off pretty well. That's what I'd like to see. But coming up in the season, hopefully the season will get better. Because, like I said, I'm not gonna lie, there's maybe, Jake the Dad and Mystery Dungeon are, like, the only 2 episodes I really strongly liked. Again, I'm not going to say how I felt about Finn the Human, Jake the Dog. We have All Your Fault, where Princess Bubblegum sends Finn and Jake to investigate a message of distress from the Earl of Lemongrab. More Lemongrab stuff could be alright. I don't want them to run the character into the ground. I'm a little bit afraid if they make him a more regular character, the whole point of him being this obnoxious thing is going to be, like, ruined. Also, who knows how he's going to act now that he's with Lemongrab too. We have Bad Little Boy, which is the other Fiona and Cake episode, the second one, and it's about Marshall Lee, which is the gender-swapped version of Marceline, and he's voiced by, what's his name, Donald Glover, who's in Community, by the way. He's Troy in Community. And as always, Neil Patrick Harris is going to be Prince Gumball. Like, it's going to be a pretty stellar cast, which is really cool. And then the rest of these don't have, let's see. We have Little Dude, I don't know what that's going to be about. The Vault of Bones, no clue. The Great Birdman, that doesn't sound like a very good episode. Simon and Marcy, that'll be interesting. It's probably going to go more into the Ice King and Marceline's friendship or father-daughter relationship. That's going to be interesting. Hopefully. Pooh Hoy, I don't know what that is. A Glitch is a Glitch. Maybe an episode about BMO. One Last Job. Mafia movie. Princess Potluck. That sounds like a previous episode where the Ice King sewed a bunch of princesses together. BMO lost. Well, I guess they lose BMO. Let's see. James Baxter the Horse. Shh. Okay. The Suitor. The Party's Over. Isla de Senora. It's Mexican. Spanish that I'm not pronouncing very well. And then another 5 short Gort Shables. LSP gets robbed. That sounds like fun. And then the last episode of the season is Only Wizards Allowed, which I will speculate is going to kind of pick up where the Lich episode did, in terms of what all these wizards were talking about when the Ice King barged in on them, because I feel like that's going to be an important plot point. Yeah, but you know what? With Adventure Time, it could just be that I don't particularly like these episodes. Let me know if you feel that this season isn't particularly good. I really hope that it's just a fluke. There's just a few episodes that I don't like, that I personally don't like. Maybe you guys like them, or maybe it's just like, a few episodes are bad, but they'll pick it up. Like I said, I think they have some interesting concepts for later in the season, and the season is still new. There's only, 7 or 8 episodes I listed, something like that. So hopefully it'll pick up, but I feel like there's more interesting stories to be told than, Davy, or Up a Tree. I feel like there's a lot more out there in the land of Ooh for Finn and Jake to be doing. And I don't think that there needs to be an adventure every episode, but I do feel like the scope of these episodes have kind of been a little bit small. But, hey, let me know what you think in the comments, as always. Like I said, that rant is coming very soon, and maybe I'll do another one of these videos, at the very end of the season, talking about the other half of the season. And yeah, with that, PIEGUYRULZ, out. Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe if you like me, like this video if you, like this video, and comment if you have an opinion on anything that I just said. Oh, and I also have a Twitter. Follow me at PIEGUYRULZ. I usually respond to any comments or questions that I get. PIEGUYRULZ, out.